So hi everybody and welcome back. This is a C++ tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video 132 and in this video we are starting an exercise. Exercises are very important because it's almost more important than just learning the keywords, and the reason for that is after you learn the keywords you still can't program very well, and the reason for that is all these keywords must be trained and used in programming, which means you must use these keywords in combination with other keywords, and then how they are called, how they are used, and what is the how they interact in a program. And that's a whole other story than just understanding the keyword, and that's the most problem what beginners have. They think just learning the keywords they will be able to program later. That's not working, and that's why we make these exercises at least and try to train much. And you should train also all the keywords by creating your own programs. It must be not a big program, just make little programs for your own. But important is in these exercises that you really use your own thinking. What I mean with that, your own thinking, is you really try to solve it with your own mindset, which means anyone is asking you to solve that who has no clue about programming and you are the programmer, you have to solve it, because that's the goal later. Because when you are finished with learning C++, you are the programmer, other comes to you and they ask you how to realize a program, how to solve this problem or something like, and most time they have no clue. And the reason why they have no clue is that's why they come to you, because they say, you are a programmer, you can solve it. And that's why we train here these exercises as well, that you get the idea, or let's say that you get the experience that you have to solve these problems. And yeah, I talk too much. We should get into our exercise, but yeah, keep this in mind. Exercises are very important, and now we start. Here, the first thing what we have to do is we create again a login account. And then you can see here, use your experience. What I mean with that is here, we already created one login account. Yes, we created one in our former exercises, which means you can use this already created login account, and that means we use our experience, right? I talked about experience, I think a little bit. Experience means we are using that already created things, because then we don't waste time again. We know how this works. We know how all this kind are programmed. Here, important is if you but sometimes we forget it, no problem. Just load it up again if you saved it anywhere and use it again, read it through, and probably you will remember all that what you did. If not, no problem, because you can do also this one, or get one login account from the internet and use it in your code. This could be, you should try to find a very simple one, because we are starters, we are beginners, but this is also using, this is more like creating experience. But here we use experience and create new experience. What I mean with that is, first of all, we get a login account from the internet, which means here, if you get one from the internet, which means you should be able to understand this login account, or that makes no sense. But if you get one from the internet, which is very simple perhaps, but it's a login account, and then you use it in your code, then you create a new experience, which is now you are able to use the internet as a resource, and for the future, that's very important, as a resource, which means you bind code from the internet. You are able to bind code from the internet in your own projects, and you make it useful for your own code. For the future, if you get better and better, this becomes very important, because this means just you are able to use libraries which not you are created, but other has created, and you can use them. If we get better and better, this becomes more important. Like I said, you probably perhaps you remember that I said there is something like a GitHub, right? There are many worldwide coders. They put all kind of codes there from different languages, but C++ is of course there too, and you can see what they did. And some are private, you can't see, but some are public, and many are publics. And these public ones you can see. You can just go to GitHub, write login account, and you will probably find there are many different versions of login accounts. Some are complicated, some are more easy, but this is the way in the future which can help a programmer a lot. We on the other side must learn first, understand the elements. But yeah, that's said. So, or here's one more line. It says, if you don't want this, perhaps you say, no, I make my own from scratch, which means you say, I have already one, but I want to create another from scratch, which is very good, which means you train all the elements which we have learned so far again for a login account. It's also okay, because we are still starters. And as long as you do much is good at start, because you train all the keywords again, you try to repeat them, use them, and yeah, that's also okay, even if you use not this line. So we are finished with our first thing. We just create a login account. Then the second part here is it starts here. You receive 2 data tables, and these 2 data tables are here. I give them to you here. One data table is usernames, and you see these are words, not numbers. And here we have a second data name, user got money, and these are just numbers. I made very simple numbers from 1000 to 9000, and this represents money. And important is, what I have not shown here is that this line belongs to this one. So yes, I think I have made here an example. Let's read here on. So, okay, you receive 2 data tables. These are our 2 data tables. Then create for each data table a 2-dimensional array. So 2-dimensional, why is this 2-dimensional here? Here, the 1-dimensional is the row, for example, and here we have another for the column. So this is 2-dimensional. In real, you don't need to create a 2-dimensional array for this. You could make this one even with 1-dimensional dimension, but that's why I say create a 2-dimensional array here. So that you learn this one as well. And we repeat this one, how to use them and so on. And then it says here, one array is for username. Yes, this one here. And the other array is for user got money. Yes, this one here. And then here I made an example. Row and column from one array will be compared with the other. Okay, first of all, what is that? Row and column. Okay, row is here and column is here. From one array, yes, this is this array here, will be compared with the other, so we know how much money one user got. And what I mean with that is, I think that was not a good description, but what I mean with that is, if we compare row 1 here with column 1, which is coder, and I compare it with the other array, the same thing, row 1, column 1, which is 1000, then I know coder is 1000. And I think I made here an example. Let's read this one. For example, it says here, for example, in usernames, let's jump in usernames, coder, okay, this is coder, is on row 1, column 1. Okay, row 1, column 1 here, row 1 here, column 1 here, and coder is here, okay. And here I wrote a hint. I will talk about this one in a moment, but let's finish this example. And that must match now. So this one here must match now with user got money, which is this one, 1000, and with this one here. So this coder must match with this one here, because 1000 is on row 1 and column 1, right? So the same thing like here, coder is on row 1, column 1, 1000 is on row 1, column 1, and we know this one belongs to this. Wonder Woman is here to 9000, Maggie is here on 4000, and so on. So, but here I give you a hint. Don't make this mistake here as a coder. I mean, as a programmer, we start with 0, but here, careful, array start with 0. As a programmer, we know this, that an array starts with 0, which means this here is actually row 0, column 0, right? Not row 1, column 1. The question is now why I wrote here, then if I know this as a programmer, why I wrote here coder is on row 1 and column 1. And the reason for that is you must think about that you are a programmer, but perhaps this table is given you by a non-programmer, and a normal person, which when I say a normal person, I mean a non-programmer starts all time with 1. We programmer starts with 0 sometimes, not all time, but sometimes, like with arrays, we start with 0. But a normal non-programmer will all time say 1 is the first place, and then 2, and he counts this way, right? 1, column 1, row 1. So if you are talking with a non-programmer and you mention something, okay, I start with 0 in programming, they say why? Because this is a programmer thing. A programmer will understand you, a non-programmer will not understand you. Think about it. When you started learning programming, and you was probably also a little bit confused why all these programmers use the 0, not 1. If you think a little bit back. And yeah, that's very important that you understand this one, because you as a programmer will work probably in future as well with people who are non-programmers, and you have to think about them too, because they will not understand it when you say, okay, this is column row 0, column 0. They will say, what is 0? Because they start all time with counting with 1. All right, with that said, I think I talked here too much. Let's continue. And that's what you do actually. So with other words, you create these two data tables here as arrays like this one, and then number 3, you are going and print them out. Print out the multi-dimensional arrays on screen, which means print this one out. You don't have to follow this format here. You can, but you can make it very simple as well. Just, yeah, use your own creativity. Well, how you make it, it's up to you. You are the programmer, and yeah, only if anyone says specific, you should use this one and this, so, then you make it this way. But right now, it says here, just print out the multi-dimensional array on screen, which means you can use your own creativity how you make this. Let's continue. And number 4, here's here it says, write an update for user got money, which means we have, again, our tables, the 2 tables, but user got money here got an update, but use the already created array. Let's see here, and then but use the already created array from task 2. Okay, so we have to understand this line a little bit. First of all, it says write an update for user got money. Here is the update already. For example, here's 2000, and you see the numbers. I just changed here the numbers a little bit. This is the update. So this one is the update, but I don't want that you just create another array, which is possible. You can say, okay, here I created an array. Now I create here again an array and write these numbers here, and then I have updated it, because this is possible too. So here in this case, I really said that you should use the already created array from task 2, which means you should use this one here, this user got money, with this numbers, and update it from this one here to this one. And this is a little bit different than just creating a new array and just writing in the numbers, because yeah, you will see why when you create it. Not that difficult, but it's different, let's say, so a little bit different. Just a little one step, I think, not much. All right, and after you updated this one, which means the usernames are still the same, you can see they stay, and this values get updated, and it should be still matching. So the coder is now 2000, Wonder Woman is now 8000, and Maggie is now 5000, and so on, right? Just update it. And then we print the updated multidimensional arrays on screen, which means print them again here on screen. And if you printed already them on screen, then you can use again a copy of your code here and just print here them out as well, because yeah, and perhaps here a tip. Perhaps you can use, instead of just copying and pasting a code, perhaps you can make a print out function if you want, but I want not try to say complicated things. You should use your own solution here. That's more important. Try to think on your own way. That's more important. That's why I don't want ask too much. And yeah, let's continue. So this is just a print out on screen. And then, so you see, it's not too difficult what we made so far. And this one is also not difficult, very easy actually. Now I say, create a one-dimensional array for usernames. So first of all, we created here a two-dimensional here on top in task 2, a two-dimensional array. And now I say, now you should create a one-dimensional array. And the same goes for user got money, one-dimensional array. And like I said before, this table here, what you can see, we can realize this in one dimension too. And exactly that I ask here. So, and of course they should still match. For example, here slot 0 should be 2000 because in this table they match. So in our one-dimensional arrays, for example here, one-dimensional array for usernames, slot 0 is coder, should be in one-dimensional array user got money, 0 also a few thousand, and so on. It's very easy, not too difficult, I think. And then what we do next is compare the first data table with the updated data table. So which means the first data table is this one. And we compare now this data table with the second one. All right, this is here. And write the difference here, the second part, and write the difference in the one-dimensional array. All right, now the values of the user got money for the updated, for the one-dimensional array is the difference about these two data tables here. And here I made an example how this should be done. Try to understand it. It's not too difficult, I hope. So first data table, row 1, column 1 is 1000. I use here again the non-programmer language, which starts not with 0. So, okay, here, row 1 is here. Column 1 is also here, is 1000. Okay, found it. Then is 1000. Yes, I see it here. Then you go on, updated data table, row 1, column 1. Yes, row 1 is here. Column 1 is here. Yes, is few thousand. Found it. Is few thousand. Okay, this line we understand. Then it says, so write in one-dimensional array. So this is the array which I created for user got money. Array for coder. And here I said also it should be connected, of course, to the usernames, which means in a one-dimensional array coder. And here for the one-dimensional array, we write here something. For coder, the difference of plus 1000. And why we write here plus 1000? Because this is the difference, right? When I have here 1000 and in the updated version I have 2000, the difference is 1000, but careful, it is plus 1000, not minus 1000, because this makes here a difference. And this plus must be indicated here too, right? That's very important. And because here on the second example, for example, Wonder Woman, would get the difference minus 4,000. We can see it. We have here in the first data table 9,000. Here in the second data table 8,000. The difference is minus 1,000. And then I would write this in the one-dimensional array with, yes, minus 1,000, because here 9,000 first and 8,000 second. All right, I hope you understand this. I think that's not too complicated. And yeah, that is our programming task. But when we finished this programming task and you are finished with this one, I think I stop here first. And you finish this one, there will come another programming tutorial exercise. And what, but not this kind here. This is just really where you should learn programming on your own, write a whole program yourself, and try to use all your creativity and so on. But in the next, after this one comes another programming tutorial where I will go line by, ask you line by line questions. We did this in the pointer version. I will ask one line with a question or some 2 lines, depends how big the question is, and then you write towards this question the answer. You try to solve this the coding version, right? You tried this one. Yes, you try just to solve that. And the way we do this is like the pointer exercise, where I asked in pointer one line, then you could pause the video and try yourself, and then you can start the video again, and right after I would solve this solution. And the reason for that is in this exercise here, what we have, we can't cover all the keywords and all the little things what I would also train. And that's why we combine now these 2 exercises together. We write one program here. Here you should use your creativity, learn how to write a program and solve it in your own way. You can solve this with all the tools which we learned so far. You can combine, mix, you can do what you want to solve this exercise. Important is just that it works and and the requirements are fulfilled. That's the only thing. What means fulfill the requirement? For example, one says just create an account. You should be able to create an account and then here print out, for example, this arrays on the screen. I want to see this on the screen. But how you make all this kind of things, this is all up to you, all to your own creativity. You have to use it with your own mindset, and don't bother with other talks. Just make it in your own way, and don't forget, you can make many errors as much you want. Nobody cares. Important is that you solve these errors. And yeah, because errors are normal. That's normal. Just try to solve these errors so that in the end something like this works. And if it's not working, still okay, you tried it. And sometimes this happens also most times. Sometimes it works for 1 day not, for 2 days not, even for 2 weeks not. But after this one, it makes a click. And then it comes from self. But very important is that you all time try. Make errors, try. And there will be a time where it may click, and all goes, all goes easy. Because you get better and better, you research, and you, something like that. All right, I talked much, and I hope you will make a good exercise, because don't forget, exercises are even more important to learn programming just than only understanding keywords. That will not help you with programming. Don't forget the famous example. There is a guy who is a genius. He read a swimming book and he knows absolute old thing, but the problem was the genius was never in the water, and then one guy pushed him in the water and he drowned. And the reason for that is just understanding all things make you not able to you able to use it, right? And with that said, that should be our motivation. I hope that was not too bad. Then with that said, try your best, make mistakes. Mistakes are very good too, because with mistakes you can learn even more, because then you see where exactly you are bad and try to fix these places. And yeah, good luck. I wish you good luck. I will try to present my own solutions during the next videos. I will not probably do all in one video, but yeah, it depends. I don't know. Perhaps if it's short, I make it in one video. If not, we will use several videos. And yeah, with that said, good luck. Toi, toi, toi. And have fun, of course. All right. Bye. Before I forgot, if you have any complaints or any suggestions or any questions or tips and tricks, write them also in the comments below. And yeah, now bye.